right, folks, good evening, and happy Monday on this cold, fall-esque winter day. And so thank you for coming. And so a couple things, just reminding folks, we have these mics in the front, so as you know, this means Sarah's not going to be doing like the 1,000 walks to pass the mic or anything like that, and so hopefully this is just pick up any questions folks have. And then with that all said, so this meeting of Brooklyn Community Board 14 is called to order on Monday, November 10th, 2025 at 7:02 p.m. under the applicable statutes of New York State, the Charter of New York City, and the board's bylaws and Robert's Rules of Order. And so the board's policy is to encourage detailed public discussion of matters before the board, at our committee meetings, and at public hearings. And so consequently, except by board members, there will be no public discussion at our regular monthly meetings of matters about which a public hearing or committee meeting has been held. So specific service delivery requests or complaints should be brought to the attention of the district's office staff by calling the board office during regular hours or by visiting our website anytime. In addition, other matters of civic interest that may be brought before the board during our scheduled public comment period, which will begin tonight after other business on the board's monthly meeting agenda has been concluded. So just a reminder, no partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises will be heard, and any people wishing to speak during the public comment period, you are asked to pre-register. And so, since our wonderful secretary is fighting the cold, today we have our third vice chair, Ornella Parker, subbing in. So, Ornella, thank you for doing so. And so, with that being said, third vice chair Parker, could you please call the roll?
Of course. Can you guys hear me? All right. So I'm actually excited to do this today because I get to learn some names today. So one thing is I ask for grace. If I mess your names up, I believe names are important. Correct me in the moment so I get it right. The second thing I'm going to ask for is I believe a lot of people in the audience don't know each other. So when I say someone's name, I want that person to stand up, and everyone else in the audience would say hi in that person's name so you can start learning each other's name. Does everybody understand that? So if I say Ornella Parker, Ornella Parker's going to stand up, and you're going to say? Yes. Okay, great. Let's get started. All right. Shahabzada. Did I say that right? Sahibzada.
You can just make it easier. You can just say Ahmed or Shabir.
Ahmed. All right. Okay. Waqil. Hamed. Hi. Carissa Alfonso. Hi, Carissa. Gregory Alvarez. Hey, Gregory. Hindi Bendel. Hey, Hindi. Y'all gotta bring a little more energy. I'm not hearing everybody say hi. Keep it going. Benjamin. Okay, we're gonna try it again. Benjamin Bendet. Perfect. Hi. All right, I have some friends on their phone that are not saying hi. Come on, wake up, y'all. All right, Davina. How do I say your last name, Davina? Olanot? Yeah. Okay, Davina. Hey. Christopher Bromson. Hey, Christopher. Carl Henry Cesar. Hi, Carl. All right, I know Florence is not here. Let's keep going. Yvette Claire Jean. Hi. Elizabeth Dennis.
It's Denise, but
Denise. Hey, Elizabeth. All right, Lisa Derrick.
not here.
All right, keep going. Joseph Dweck. All right. Royson Ford. Rogine. Ford. Not here. Okay. Gerald Gray. Not here. Suzanne Hargett. Hey, Suzanne. Musa Hassoun. No, Musa. Ian Haynes or Eon Haynes. Okay. Mordechai Horsarski. Did I do that right?
Mordecai.
All right, Mordecai.
Hey.
All right. I didn't hear everybody say hi, Mordecai. That's
Hey, Morty.
Kashif Husan. Hey. Nordic Johnson.
Hey, Nordic.
Erica Jones. Erica Jones. Oh, okay. Christy Jutil. Hi, Christy. And it's pronounced that way phonetically too. Hi, Kirsty. Hi. All right, I'm looking at some friends that haven't said anything. You know who you are. All right. Shahid Khan. Hi, Shahid. Nicole Angelo. Hey, Nikki. Alex Lesman. Hi, Alex. Donald Loggins. Sasha Maslowski. Sasha. Melissa Minnick. Ephraim. Never. Hi. Hi, Ephraim. Asma Nuzi. I think I saw you. Yes. Hi. No, Eric. Let's keep going. Ornella Parker. Yeah. All right. The second row, y'all slacking. Come on now, wake up. All right, Nora Pena. Nora? Pena. Susan Phillip. We have two Susans. I just noticed that. Okay. See? That's why I gotta say the names. All right. How do I say this? Tazi Pol Z? Z's here?
He just went downstairs.
But he's here? Okay. We'll say hi when he gets back. Barden Kristen.
What up, Barton?
Baza Rohi.
She's not here.
Not here.
Gaza.
Nina Shab. Nina's not here. Joel Siegel. Hey, Joel.
Some gesture.
Gail Smith. Alexis Summers. Tova. How to say it last December? Rolanda Telsford. Abraham Triff. Hey. Deborah Valentine. Dawn is down here. Alana Wilson. Elena. Hi, Elena. Is there anyone's name that I did not say that came in after their call? Hey, Musa.
Stand
Say
up.
hi, Musa.
Stand up and yes.
1 second. You make one.
So a round of applause for the interim secretary of the day. Thank you very much.
You guys wake up, y'all. I hear your president.
And so now that we have quorum, minutes. So first things first, district manager, did we receive any changes to the October 2025 minutes from email?
We did not.
Okay. From the floor, do we have any proposed changes to the October 2025 general board meeting minutes? So seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the October 2025 minutes? Okay. Are there any board members abstaining? Any ineligible? Any opposed? So the motion carries. And so now we move on to the district manager's report.
Good evening, everybody. I've got a lot of energy to try to match. Appreciate you all being here, and I'm really delighted to be joined this evening by a Community Board 14 resident and FCNY Planning Fellow for this year, Annie Larkin. Annie, now we're going to do the same thing. Annie's going to stand up. Hello. Annie's going to be working on sort of mapping City of Yes potentials, and so we will see some, I sort of picture this, no pressure, this giant pop-up book of three-dimensional, it will be beautiful. But stay tuned for an upcoming Housing and Land Use Committee meeting where we will be introducing Annie and some preliminary work and the plan for the research project. Really excited. Since our last board meeting, I attended FDC's really wonderful celebration of their 50th anniversary. I also took part in the Department for the Aging's annual plan hearing and was joined by board member Florencia Chang-Ajeda, who spoke really eloquently about her outreach in our community and brought some great anecdotes to the hearing. I attended the MTA IBX listening session at Brooklyn College. You might hear more about that later. And the 70th Precinct Community Council meeting. I was really pleased to recognize some of our really stellar community partners with whom we work in the community at the annual reception and welcome some new board members. And this event would not have happened without staff, Sarah Skla and Patricia Olinger, so I thank them. I mean, I really can't thank them enough. And of course, the great generosity of East Midwood Jewish Center and events by W.W. Zeitlin. We couldn't do it without them either. There was also a Borough Service Cabinet meeting that I attended earlier, last week I guess it was, and that does remind me, you might hear more about this later too, but just so you know, the board applications are open for board membership, so if you're not a member and you'll want to be, there's the application. Should be easy to find, but call us if you can't. And if you are a board member whose term is expiring, term limits haven't hit yet, so please reapply. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report, District Manager Campbell. And so now we move on to the chair's report. So, folks, good evening. And there's a couple things. And so the first is that tomorrow is Veterans Day. And so I will be frank, I have never been in a physical war, and I definitely don't ever want to be. And that is because point blank in war, people get hurt, people die, and a lot of people get scarred physically and emotionally. And the truth is, there are some folks who never recover from said experience, right? And so because tomorrow is Veterans Day, I know for me personally, I am saying for the past, the present, and the future veterans, I am thanking them, I thank them, and I will thank them and their families for their future sacrifices and service, and also for those who have a long road of recovery ahead, I'm wishing them the best as well too. And then the other thing that I want to say as well is that November is also Native American Heritage Month. And so I also take this time to thank this community for their contributions to our society. And I hope that folks for whom this community is important and dear to them, I hope that they do have a vibrant month of celebration and recognize that much work remains to be done in support of this community. And then for the annual reception, District Manager Campbell said pretty much all the main things that I wanted to say as well too. Much deserved shout outs to Dovey and his company and also the East Midwest Jewish Center. And another shout out to Sean, Patricia, and also Sarah for all that they do in the middle, behind, and in the scenes as well. And then also multiple recognition awards were given out to various entities, and so I'm just calling out the blocks of people because it would be like longer than the Oscars if I read everyone's name. But in no order, awards were given to members of the 70th Precinct, DSNY BK14, the Brooklyn DA's office, King's Theater, and the Parks Department. And so in addition, I also want to give a shout out to Ian and one of his friends, just because after the reception was done, there was food left over. And so Ian and his friend took some of that food and they dropped it off into like community fridges somewhere in the area. I forget the addresses of those locations, but I also just want to thank them for at least having that extra food and then also doing that too. And so the next thing I want to report on is the Citizens Police Academy. And so on October 28, 2025, I graduated from the Citizens Police Academy.
Oh, great. Call with chairman.
Well, I don't know about that. And so the graduation was the culmination of a 6-week course where attendees learned some of the laws, policies, protocols, and more that, New York City police officers have to know and balance when being called to address and or support various situations, right? And then I'm going to give another shout out to Ian because I think it was in week 3 where we both realized we were both doing it, and I'm like, wait, I know you're a board member, and he's like, you're my chair, and I'm like, yes, I just realized in week 3 that we're both doing this thing. So that was funny. And so first off, the graduation ceremony took place in One Police Plaza, and I'll be honest, it was odd to be there. And I say that because the only time I've heard of One Police Plaza was in Law and Order, or if I'm ever reading articles about like NYPD or the CCRD, right? But that joke aside, it's important that it took place there because it showed me that this was taken seriously. And I bring it up because we've all done experiences where you go through something and the culmination makes you go like, oh man, like this is it. So you didn't really put thought into celebrating the work that people did to get to this moment. And so the fact that this ceremony took place in One Police Plaza and they put the effort into it, in my opinion, it showed that, oh, they did take this seriously. So I'm glad that they did that. And then the second thing too is, I'm glad that I did do this too, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. So for me personally as an individual, I do not believe that I can afford to trust the police 100%. For me personally, I believe it's hazardous to my health to do so. But at the same time, being a board member for the past 6 years, I've gotten an extraordinary access and proximity to police that I otherwise would have never had. Like I've had chances to meet with police officers and get to talk with them as professionals and also get to know them a little bit as people. And so because of that, that is ultimately why I'm glad I did this. Because over these 6 weeks, I gained like a sliver of insight into some of the things that they have to do in terms of their training and their experience. And that's important because that gave me some more empathy as an individual. That can only help me as a person and a board member because now I have better questions to ask of the officers and better understand that situation at the same time without discounting the experiences of people who are also involved in those situations. And so for all of those reasons, I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to do this. And so I believe there may be another session in the spring. And so if folks are interested, you know, you can chat with me, you can chat with Ian because we both did it. And then also too, I want to give a shout out to Officer Jewett in the 7-0 because she was the one who had notified me of this experience. And then I also see Scott Nuzzi here from the 7-0, so shout out to you, Scott, as well. So thank you very much. And then also too, in no order, I see some representatives of elected officials. So Mary Kay Siri from Assemblymember Carroll's office, thank you very much. And Ellie Slavin from Congresswoman Clark's office, thank you very much. And also Brian Grady from Rita Joseph's office. So thank you both very much for being here. And then there's also a bunch of people who I forgot. So Kashif, you have like 3 roles, my guy. So we have Kashif, the board member, but also here from the Public Advocate's office as well. So Kashif, thank you very much. We also have, and if I mispronounce your name, please correct me. Khalid Senate or Senat from the office of Senator Meyer.
Khalid Jamal.
Khalid Jamal? All right, thank you so much for correcting me. And then I have Lauren College from the Church Flatbush Community Alliance. So hello, Lauren. Thank you. And I also have Britt Bird from Borough President Reynoso's office. So Britt, nice to see you. All right, so with the Brooklyn Borough Board Report, it took place on last Thursday, just because Election Day was Tuesday. And so, first thing, there was supposed to be a presentation from the Sunset Park Pier parking, whatever. That was rescheduled to another date, so that's TBD. Secondly, there was a presentation from the Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice, and the people who also joined that presentation was the Chief of Fire Prevention and the FDNY's Director of Community Affairs, and they're presenting on battery energy storage systems, otherwise known as BESS. And I also believe a member of the Department of Buildings was there too. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is, as soon as that recording is up on YouTube, watch it, because it was a very robust discussion. There are many questions, many policy and engagement things asked, and so I'm not going to give you a book-by-book recount of that, but I'm telling you, as soon as it's up, watch that, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. So what I'm giving you is like the Cliff Notes. So the high-level summary was, what is a battery energy storage system? What are their purported benefits? What are the processes for entities to apply for getting the right to install them within the city, and the process for verifying that the installation was done correctly? So after that, board members asked many questions ranging from community board engagement to who stands to benefit, for-profit, utilities, whoever, where will the energy and the energy savings and the potential profits go, how will proposed installation sites be validated, decommissioning, and so much more, right? And so after this presentation was done, there were 2 additional folks who spoke. There's a Paul Rogers from ESRG and a Bill Obercare. I apologize because I'm mispronouncing his name, from NYSERDA. And these two gentlemen provided some more context in terms of the battery energy storage system conversation from a state view. All right. And so after that was done, a committee was approved to look into the expiration. A committee at the Brooklyn Borough Board level. Right. So after that, a committee was approved to look into the expiration of the open meetings law provision as it pertains to Brooklyn Borough Board. And then, in addition, as Sean had mentioned already, it was announced that the community board applications are live. And so those are live, and the deadline for those is February 6, 2026. And then the other thing to share is that the borough president plans to meet with community board chairs on December 3rd to discuss term limits. So during that piece, there was an ask to see if district managers could be included. So we're waiting to hear back from the Brooklyn Borough Board if that's going to be the case, or if it's going to be a joint meeting or separate meetings. But in the meantime, that's what's going to happen on December 3rd. We're going to have this conversation. And so with that being said, that is the chair's report. And I also want to give a shout out to Taisha Allen from Assembly Member Rodney's Bashar Hermelin's office. So Taisha, thank you very much for joining us. And so so now we are on to topical committees. And so the first one is going to be community safety, followed by human services. And so community safety, by any chance, is there any committee report?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Good evening, everybody. So my co-chair, Florenzia, is not here. She was ill today. She actually chaired the safety committee without me because I was ill the day that happened. So the meeting was on October 22nd, and the Sheriff's Department was unable to show up. However, Commanding Officer Deputy Inspector Wernsbach was able to call in and be present at the meeting. Detective Nizzi and the Q Team Sergeant Valentin was present. So Sergeant Valentin is the Q Team Night Sergeant, and they operate between the hours of 5:30 p.m. and 2 a.m. So the board is very thankful to Sergeant Valentin for being prompt with his response to community issues. He is the Q Team Sergeant for the night team, and most of their assignments come through 311. But they also address calls from the community board and from Sean, so we are very thankful for them, and from the Community Affairs Department. Sean asked about the architecture of the Q team, and all Q team officers are able to go everywhere, and they're not limited to one sector. Their team was very successful in removing 9 abandoned cars, so that was great, thank you. So in our community, we have an issue lately with speeding and drag racing, and many board members and residents alike have called that in. So they take reports and they send the intel into DOT, who then address the matter. And Detective Wernsbach informed us that they're currently data-driven, which means they focus on the areas where there are upticks, and that have a high volume of 311 calls from multiple people. So if you see this, call 311. They also address these issues by educating people with flyers, and also report to DOT, who do their own site surveys. And they also make recommendations for speed bumps and for cameras. Alex Lexman had a concern about an article he read about having a fingerprintable arrest for those on scooter violations. However, they are focusing on 2 people who are on one scooter, and also those who are using them for crimes and have prior arrests. And NYPD is not working with ICE. They're not trying to stop immigrant workers. So as an update of the recent crimes, there was a correction. So the body that was found in a garbage bag was intact, and that person had died from an overdose, and he was put in the bag by a roommate who was not mentally well. So the case is still under investigation, however. In regards to the shootings on Dorchester and East 21st Street, there was a community response done. And for the record, Officers Jewett and Reyes, Pastor Thornton, Minister Ellis, Florencia, Mike Goldfarb, and his friends from the community attended. And a community response is when the community affairs officer notifies the 70th Interfaith Precinct clergy. They choose a time and a date to go to the location where the crime was committed. There are members of the safety committee who usually go. Florenzia goes, sometimes I go, a lot of times Joe Dweck goes. And there are also members from community stakeholders like CAMBA, Catholic Charities, the DA's office. A lot of times Nancy Lulu comes with us. And we give out flyers and leaflets and food and other resources. Community Board 14's office is also going to work on a response that we can give out as well. Some of the upcoming topics and presentations that we would like to present would be on mental health de-escalation, CPR and Narcan presentation, and substance abuse. And Florenzia asked if Chair Carl Henry Cesar would give an assessment of the Q team's rollout meeting in the summer. If you'd like to see the whole meeting, you can see it on the website for 10/22/25, which is when it was. And there's just a reminder that the 70th Precinct Council meeting will be held on November 19th at 7:30 at Lawrence Avenue. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and everyone enjoy Veterans Day. And I want to give my personal thanks to all the veterans, past, present, and future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that report, Andy. So before we get to the next thing, just want to call out, we also have Brittany Dixon from Assemblymember Brian Cunningham's office. So thank you very much. So next up, we have the Human Services Committee and then Community Environment.
Good evening, everyone. So we had our first meeting 2 weeks ago on October 27th, and our meeting was in person at the district office. We had 2 presentations. The first, apologies, I mean that Claire Jean, my co-chair, Jerome Gray, is not here this evening. So for those of you who missed our great first in-person meeting, we had a presentation from Public Health Services, and they presented on the Whole You NYC program, which is an initiative that partners with over 200 community-based organizations to provide enhanced services in nutrition, housing, and transportation for eligible Medicaid members across Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. So if you or someone you know has Medicaid, they can go to WholeU, WHOLEU.NYC to the website to do the screening process to see if they're eligible for the enhanced services, which I mentioned are focused in nutrition, housing, and transportation. It was a really good presentation and an opportunity for us to be able to share that with our neighbors and friends. Our second presentation was from the city's Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, and it was on access to vaccination. So what season are we in now? Not what season are we in now? Flu, cold, COVID, RSV, all of the things. So it's really important to know that ways to protect yourself. So they shared with us data, including that there's increased hospitalization during this season, and those who are most at risk, including those who are 65 and older, babies, pregnant persons, those with pre-existing conditions. So all of these individuals are at risk for flu, RSV, and COVID. So benefits of they shared the benefits of getting the vaccines, protecting yourself and your loved ones. And they shared that even though you've been vaccinated before, that having the most up-to-date vaccine will help you. And they also made recommendations to stay home if you're feeling sick, to wash your hands, social distancing, and really encourage getting vaccinated to protect yourself. They have a wonderful interactive map that you can go on to see what locations are offering the different vaccinations. And the website is nyc.gov/health/map. Again, good websites. nyc.gov/health/map. And you will be able to put in your address and be able to look and see what sites there are and what particular vaccines are being offered at each site. And most of the vaccines are covered by Medicaid, Medicare, and most health insurances. And then we had new business, and we had a speaker, Jack Torre, who spoke about a current bill that's before the City Council called Intro 1096. And this bill, he asked for a letter of support. So Jack is a retired New York City employee, and I'm going to give a summary of Intro 1096. So this is a proposed local law before the City Council that would amend the administrative code of the City of New York to protect the vested health insurance coverage and city contributions for retired city employees. So the sponsors of this bill, they argue that municipal retirees, they earned and paid for specific health benefits during their employment, and that the city is currently trying to change that, and they want the city to uphold the promises that were made while these employees were still employed in city government. So the concern is that the city would move retirees into a Medicare Advantage, which is a private plan, instead of the traditional Medicare plus Medigap plan that could reduce either their access to doctors or raise costs. So this is a very complex issue. So what I encourage you to do is to watch the recording of our October 27th meeting, and also to do your own personal research so that you have a better understanding of the bill. So we had the representative Jack who spoke on one side, but of course, as you know, there are multiple arguments that can be made in favor or in opposition of the bill. So the best thing for everyone here to do, if you know a retired city employees, is to encourage them to do their own research. And if you are in support of the bill, I encourage you to contact your own council member to share your support or your questions. And then this bill hasn't been voted on. It's still in discussion at the city council, but the best thing to do is to do your own personal research. So the bill is Intro 1096. Okay? Covers everything. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for that report, Yvette. And so next up, we have community environment and then transportation.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Christopher Bromson.
And I'm Deborah Valentine.
And we met last week on November 5th and had two presentations. We were joined by the Parks Department for an update on the Flatbush African Burial Ground. They received comments back from the Public Design Commission and have created a new updated plan that they joined us to present. That will soon be on the CB14 website, I think, the updated plan.
Yeah, I just got it today.
So awesome. Okay. So they made what they called minor suggestions for changes. So some of the materials, some of the decorative elements, and then wraparound gardens. So they took a few things into consideration and provided an updated plan. It was a great and kind of concise but informative conversation, and things are on track still for fall 2028. So they promise to continue to update us as things change.
Okay, and the other presentation we had was from Marissa Yanni. She's the liaison for DSNY, Department of Sanitation of New York, and she talked about the local law 199 of 2019 that's now going to take into effect in January. So part of this now at the phase 3 of the process, and which with this law it was enacted to help with commercial waste zones, so that commercial businesses, they can now have their garbage collected by private carters. And this would help everyone, for the environment, for people, for workers, for everyone, to make it safe for workers. So the customer sign-up period is January 1st, 2026, and all contracts must be signed by February 28th, 2026. If a business doesn't have a contract, DSNY would assign a carter at maximum rate and minimum frequency. Compliance is a must, so they want the businesses to make sure that they get someone to cart their garbage. Yeah, that's it. So if you know anyone that owns a business, tell them that it's finally going to go into effect, and they need to get the containers and everything to make sure that their garbage is disposed adequately. And also, when the carters come to pick up the garbage, the containers have to be removed before the business reopens for the day. So that's it.
Yep, and lots of resources on the sanitation website for any business owners in the district. So, great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you both. So next up we have Transportation Committee and then Housing and Land Use.
Good evening. We are the Transportation Committee co-chairs. My name is Bernard Bendet, and tonight's top stories are: one, an automated public toilet that is proposed in Park Circle, the parade ground side. So it's going to be a self-cleaning public toilet open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It will, after 15 minutes, it completely opens and is ready for the next person, complete sanitation, everything like that. Before 8 a.m. and sometime about 8 p.m. or a little after that, crews will be coming around to do any necessary maintenance and also to restock if there's anything needed. The interesting part about it is it can also be installed in flood zones the way it's built. There were concerns raised that since it's going to be free, maybe it might be misused by different individuals, but the DOT said that for now they do not have that concern. And there was also support mentioned because the public toilets, adding a public toilet in the area would help with community safety and hygiene in the area. The second presentation that we had was the IBX. The DOT is right now going through an environmental review. There's a comment period until November 24th, 2025. So if any of you want to make a comment, I believe that information is probably on the website. It is on the website, confirmed. There is general support. There was general support for the IBX at the meeting. There were just concerns about vibration, noise, and environmental issues. There was a request that the DOT take that seriously, especially for people that live around there. And the DOT said that they are taking that seriously, and they really do want to hear about any comments during the comment period. And there will always be coordination with buses and subways around the area in terms of transfers, but they will have more details as the project goes along.
Hey folks. We also had a presentation by a group called Stop the Chop. They are a nonprofit that was founded in 2014. They are pushing for a ban on non-essential helicopter flights over the New York City metropolitan area. They give us a little bit about their history and some of their earlier efforts. Apparently, they were involved with an earlier push about 8 or 9 years ago that led to Mayor de Blasio to negotiate a reduction in tourism-based helicopter flights by 50% in the New York City area. Anyway, so they're reinvigorating the campaign again because they want to ban all non-essential helicopter flights. They shared a bunch of information. So first, over the Flatbush area, or at least parts of our district, they shared that they believe that most of the helicopter travel that's non-essential are charter flights or commuter flights, typically from either JFK or helicopter flights that go back and forth from the Hamptons or Long Island more generally. Over other areas of Brooklyn, Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn Heights, and the like, they said that that type of non-essential helicopter travel tends to be focused on like tourism flights, people that want to see Lower Manhattan on helicopter, basically. They put forward a bunch of arguments in favor of banning non-essential helicopter flights. They said that the helicopter flights create public health issues around noise. They highlighted a recent safety issue. I guess there was a helicopter crash in the New York City area in the last year, or last couple of years, I should say, They identified the hearing impairment or sleep impairment, especially for folks that are right by the water, although I also experience personally hearing impairment issues where I live. And then they also highlight other things. They thought it was bad for the environment, and they think that the heliports that the city maintains, a few of them are publicly owned heliports, they bring in, according to this group, they bring in a lot less money than they take to operate, so they think fiscally it doesn't make sense to keep running them at a loss. So they highlighted a few different things. They pointed out that Manhattan CB7 and CB4 has passed resolutions to ban or reduce the flights. The city council passed a bill, I believe last year, to ban helicopters, the helicopter types that create the loudest type of noise from using publicly available heliports. And there's ongoing push at the state or federal level to ban them one way or another, or to stop those flights in the area. They have taken the position, though, that the governor and the mayor could, with 30 days notice, just shut down at least 2 out of 3 of the public owned heliports, and that would fix at least most of the problem, if not all of it. Towards the end of their presentation, they did ask CB14 for a resolution or a show of support, like a letter of support, for their push to ban non-essential helicopter flights.
So thank you both for that presentation. And so, so my question regarding that letter of support, just your assessment within that virtual committee meeting, did it seem that the folks were asking questions? Were they in the middle? Did it seem that they were opposed, or were they in support?
Yeah.
Was it hard to tell exactly like where people were leaning?
Yeah.
Their questions?
Benjamin can correct me if I misreport this. So I think there was some show of support, namely myself, but putting aside my own personal bias, there were a number of questions. No one came out. I don't remember anyone coming out against their movement or their push. And I don't think any of the questions came in were framed in a way that was skeptical of their push necessarily. But there was, I'll say a couple of people showed support, and then a couple other people asked just inquisitive, neutral questions just on the nature of the issue, because those folks weren't familiar, they're not dealing with the issue day to day.
Okay, thank you so much for that recap. And then, so there's a couple things here, and so I'm going to say out loud like what I'm going to do. And so given that, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a motion to the board regarding, do I have a motion to have CB14 draft some sort of letter of support in terms of Stop the Chops ask? And then the second thing too is, co-committee chairperson Yvette Clarzine, you had mentioned too that there was an ask as well too. And so what I'm going to explain is some of my thinking in terms of why I didn't ask for a similar question at the end of yours. And then the third piece is I'm going to tie that in because one of the things that I'm going to be working with Sean with is to have like an executive committee meeting, and one of the things is to address this because in the years that I've been a board member, we haven't had that many requests, but this also means that we don't really kind of have like a policy and some kind of framework into this. So this is a perfect example of how, we do have a, okay. So then, this is something where we'll outline that stuff, right? But essentially, to answer the first part, do I have a motion to have a letter of support for Stop the Chops ask?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. So then, here's what I'm going to do.
Point of clarity.
Yes.
Sorry. What is the actual ask in full before we move to something right now? Because most people were not present at the meeting, so I think it needs to be clarified what the full ask is.
Sure. And so, per the summarization that committee chairperson, Musa just provided, right? Oh, wait, you want to? Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was just asking if we stand or if we sit back down.
You can sit. Oh, no, you can sit. No, yeah, you can sit.
Right.
No, yeah, you can sit. Yeah, no, I forgot to say it. Yeah, you can sit. You can sit, yes. Yes, you can sit, definitely. And so, yes, so the point of clarity, so basically, Stop the Chop, they were asking for a letter of support regarding their ask to either ban, and Musa, correct me if I'm wrong, their ask from Stop the Chop is either to ban all non-essential helicopter travel or to severely reduce / curtail the non-essential helicopter travel above Brooklyn. Is that a correct summarization of their ask?
They're asking for a letter of support to support their push to ban non-essential helicopter travel in the New York City area.
But the letter's going, I was on that call, but I think, wasn't the letter going specifically to, is it to council? Like, where does the letter go? Yeah.
Typically, we provide these letters to the requester so that they can add it to sort of their advocacy package. And, you know, the precedent of this board has been to defer to the co-chairs of the committees in terms of, you know, if they walked away from the committee meeting with a sense of general support. And if you can't if you can't take action because the meeting is remote, then the request for action comes to the full board, and that's why this conversation is taking place.
Thank you.
Sure, 2 points of clarity. Yep, go ahead. I'll go first Nikki, then Nina, and then yeah. Right.
Just for the chairs, I mean, Musa, we heard your opinion. Benjamin, do you have, like, for me to vote on something like this, it's really helpful to get like a clear opinion from the chairs. Is that something that you feel you could deliver? It's hard just from the very brief, you did a great job, but from a brief verbal presentation to make a decision myself, though I'm happy to try.
So first of all, setting my personal opinions aside, what Musa said is how it went. In terms of the technicalities, I mean, we do technically have a motion on the table, so maybe we can just disapprove the motion and then we can open this up, which it seems like people want to do.
That's true. I think that may be right. Okay.
That's fine, that's the motion.
Okay. So let's do that then.
Okay. So then, since you already have the motion on the floor, then for the purpose of this, all folks, let's vote no, and then we can open this up to...
I can also just withdraw.
You want to withdraw? Okay, fine. So we'll withdraw then. Okay, great. So then thank you very much for doing that, Board Member Dennis. And so Nina, hold up, right? So now that that's been withdrawn, Nina, you had your point, right?
Yes, so I think that critical to, you know, before we actually make a vote, is there a definition of essential and non-essential helicopter travel? Because somebody who's, you know, wants to get to their business could say, oh, well, it's essential. So we need to know what the definition is.
Yeah, they were mostly talking about like emergency, like NYPD, helicopter, or emergency like health-based transport, organ transport, yeah, like press. They were specifically trying to fight chartered flights, private flights, tourism flights, and commuter flights, because they thought that the health effects weren't worth the trade-offs, basically.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Did that answer your question, Nina?
Yes.
Okay, great. And so we're back. And so do I have a motion for CB14 to provide that letter of support?
I'm so moved. We're done with discussion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, excellent. And so all those in favor of that, please say aye. Aye. Okay. Are there any board members who are opposed? Okay, we have one. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, you have three. Okay, so you have four opposition. And then do I have any board members who are, Board Member Park, you opposed? Or?
Abstaining.
Okay, I was about to say abstain. Okay, yes. Do I have any board members who are abstaining? Okay, so one abstention. And then do I have any board members who are ineligible to vote? Okay, none. Okay, so that request carries. So that motion carries. Thank you. Okay. And then I just realized, what did I do? Oh yeah, we're not done yet. So we still have housing and land use, and then after housing and land use, we have youth services, and then transition. And so, Greg, you're up.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Greg Alvarez on behalf of my co-chair, Melissa Minnick. Housing and land use, we are scheduling our next meeting, and it'll probably take place the first week of December. We haven't settled on the date yet, I don't think, or have we?
gently hold December 2nd.
There we go. Let's do that. So Annie Larkin will be our first presenter that evening, so we'll talk all things City of Yes and our community district. Maybe in the context as well, we have the ballot initiatives that all passed, the 3 initiatives related to housing. So certainly that's part of the conversation as well. We have a second speaker that we are finalizing. I don't know if we have any further breaking news. If not, we'll leave it open, but stay tuned. And that will also be on the agenda. So we look forward to that, and we welcome everyone to join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that report. So next up, we have Youth Services, Education, Libraries. And then right after that, we have Transition Committee.
All right, everyone, the moment you've been waiting for. Youth Service, Education, Library. Hi, everyone, I'm Marnella Parker. I'm one of the co-chair. Eric is my additional co-chair. Unfortunately, he's not here because, as you guys know, it is open house season for middle school. So if you are a parent, you know that you are attending afternoon session. So he is currently there. He's with us in spirit, though. We have our very first meeting coming up on November 18th at 6:30. It will be on WebEx. So couple things. There was a change to the agenda. It went out via email, but just want to make sure everyone's aware. Instead of the IBO presentation, that will take place a little later, hopefully in January. Instead, we will have a presentation from the Flatbush Development Corporation. They'll be talking about different youth services and programs that they have. So please come join for that. Followed by that, the second agenda item will be a presentation from CAMBA, specifically the LEAP program, which is for fostering family acceptance of LGBTQ plus youth. As you guys know, that is a very important topic. So if you know any family members that have, or anyone who's in contact with youth that are LGBTQ plus, this will be a great place to come to learn some different strategies, resources for our youth that identify as LGBTQ and plus. And then last but not least, something dear to my heart, as we promised, we will be starting youth conference planning a little earlier this year. So our final agenda item for November 18th is to start planning for the youth conference. If you are somebody who wants to see the youth conference get greater and bigger and even more glorious than it always is, this is the time to do it because we're going to make a lot of key decisions at this meeting, and we'd love to hear your input to help shape the event that will be taking place most likely in March. So again, November is the time. Don't wait till it's March and you're like, hey, I had all these ideas. Come now in November and tell us what they are. All right. Can I go for one thing? Come on, Nikki. Hi, everyone. I'm back again. I am the co-chair for the Transition Committee. I almost said Transportation. Sorry, y'all. Transition Committee, along with
Nikki Levins in Angulo. Hi again.
So this is really important. Our meeting date was changed, so that went out in an email as well. So I hope you guys are reading your emails that come from the office. The new date is Monday, the 17th. So you get to see me 2 days back to back. So if anybody loves my voice, just me in general, I should see some smiles. I don't know. I can't really read the room right now. People looking at their phones. But if you love to be a part of this meeting, it is going to be on Monday prior to the Youth Service Education Library Committee meeting. It also will be via WebEx. So again, date change. Please do not come on the 24th or whatever date it was we had. It is now the 17th. We have two agenda items. The first is we have a presentation from the parliamentary procedures from Civic Engagement Commission. So what that means is, if anyone in here is ever confused about when we say motion, when we say point of order, when we're voting, what to do, how we do it, this is the place to come do it in a safe environment where it doesn't feel high risk. So if you're ever like I was, I'll be honest, I had to go do my own research. We have someone come in to give a presentation on all the procedures that we do and how our meetings are run. So again, if you are new to the board, if you are like, I just want a refresher, this is the place to come so that you could get a low stakes refresher on all the procedures that we use to run our meetings smoothly.
Thank you, Ranella. And the second agenda item, if you've never been to that parliamentary training, it's very, very useful. I will never forget being yelled at by Alvin Burke for abstaining. So very important training to attend. The other agenda items are we're going to talk about a board membership assessment and how we ensure that the board is reflective of our community, that we are doing the right kind of outreach. I think, Sean, that this survey has been run before and there's a draft one to be run again. So it's really interesting to know more about who actually is on the board with you. And we're also going to brainstorm and talk about some ideas for community engagement. So how do we have more community members show up at these meetings, but also how do we as board members engage in a way that makes this a really vibrant volunteer leadership body. So please come. It will be fun because Ornella will be there.
Nobody will be there.
Guys, a love fest. Thank you guys. See you then. Bye.
Thank you both. And so, quick thing too, Aomi, I have to apologize because I called you a name that is not yours. So yeah, I called her Brittany Dixon, not Brittany Dixon. So Aomi Saling, on behalf, thank you for representing Assemblymember Cunningham's office, and I apologize for calling you a name that was not yours. And also, thank you. And then Megan Fleming White as well from Councilmember Farrah Lewis's office. Hello, hello. So I thank you. Yeah, just recognizing you'll get there. We got you signed up. But yeah, I thank you for coming as well too. And so this takes us to, and so before I get to public session, I just want to, as usual, give a shout out to Wayne Rosenfeld and the East Midwest Jewish Center for hosting us. And then also Mark Moss is the guy in the chair over there, right? So without both of them, yeah, he is. He's the man in the chair. And so without both of them, we wouldn't be able to do this. And so this brings us to our public comment period. And so board members, you are expected to remain for the public comment period. Speakers, you should have signed up for time with Sarah in the back. And matters of civic interest and announcements of public events are invited. I'm repeating what I've said before. No partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises are permitted. We'll give each speaker up to 3 minutes. They won't get additional time, and another speaker can't give you additional time like rollover minutes. That's not how it works here. And so then speakers, please come to the podium and address the group. And then at the end of the 3-minute period, then please return to your seat. And so the board does have an obligation to conduct our business in an orderly manner, and so any person preventing that from happening, you may be asked to leave. And so it is 7:58 p.m., and the first speaker is, and Khalid, remind me again your last name, is it Jamat? Jamat, okay, thank you. So first, Khalid, we have you.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening. My voice is okay? Yes. Okay. All right, my name is Khalid Jamat. I'm from State Senator Zona Omari's office. I'm here to bring greetings from the member. He can't be here today, so he sent me. I'm looking forward to meeting you. This is my first meeting. I used to come to these meetings with, I'm sure you know, Dwayne Joseph. That's my member, my mentor, and that's why I'm standing here right now, because of him. So just want to shout him out. I want to notify you of a harvest festival that we have going on. So it's going to be we're going to be distributing turkeys and also fresh food. So if you know anybody or yourself that's in need, please contact me. I had less information at the front of the table, also some resources from our office. The date for that will be November 20th at 12 p.m. It's going to be on Lincoln Road between New York and Nostrand Avenue on the side of St. Francis of Assisi. And like I said, I'm new to his team, so please get to know me. I'm looking forward to meeting you all. This has been a great meeting so far. Also, I want to thank the veterans, past, present, and future, and their families as well, because that's a big part of that. So you have a good evening, and hope to meet you soon.
Thank you, Khalid. Looking forward to seeing you multiple times. So next up, we have Christopher Bromson, and then we have Mary Kay Siri.
Hi again, everybody. This time I am speaking as the director of the Museum of the Dog here in New York City. Yeah, it's a real place. I'll tell you where it is later. But with the volatility of SNAP benefits and the government and everything that's been happening, we started a dog food drive to support people who are having trouble feeding their pets. We want to make sure that dogs are taken care of. So every week from Wednesday to Sunday, from 11 to 5:30, anybody who needs it is welcome to come to 40th Street and Park Avenue to pick up as much dog food as they can carry. We have quite a bit. Thinking about if people in the neighborhood know of anybody who needs to feed a dog, their own or somebody else's, if you want to let the community board office know, I'm happy to bring some into the neighborhood and leave it at the office. So again, it's museumofthedog.org. Come visit. We're also on Culture Pass, so sign up for that so you get in for free and come visit us. Thanks.
Thank you. So next up we have Mary Kay Siri, and then we have Britt Bird.
Hi, everybody. This Wednesday, Assemblymember Carroll is hosting free mammograms, New York City Department of Buildings with one-on-one meetings with a representative from the Department of Buildings, and the New York State Comptroller Department of Unclaimed Funds. So we have availability for both the mammogram and the Department of Buildings. We're off tomorrow because of the holiday, but if you call Wednesday morning, the day of our event, we'll do our best to accommodate you. In addition, on December 6th, we are hosting the New York City Department of Sanitation electronics and textile recycling event. Electronics and textiles are tricky, not everything. You can't bring everything, so this flyer, which I'm going to send to Sean, and it'll be posted on the website so that you can see exactly what is eligible to be recycled on the December 6th. It's a Saturday. It's going to be in front of our office in Park Slope at 416 7th Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary Kay. So we have Britt Bird, and then after Britt, we have Jay Taubman.
Hi everyone, I'm Britt for Borough President Reynoso. On Wednesday, the Borough President's Office and CareerWise are hosting a workforce development convening in the middle of the day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's at Brooklyn Borough Hall. They'll be discussing how to support youth apprenticeship and how it can build equitable talent pipelines and prepare Brooklyn's young people for their future careers. Then on Thursday, the Borough President is co-hosting an idea generation workshop for the people's money to brainstorm ideas for how to spend part of the city budget on programs and services in Brooklyn through participatory budgeting. That's on Thursday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Brooklyn Borough Hall in downtown Brooklyn. You can visit the BP's website to RSVP and register. And then finally, as the district manager mentioned, applications are now open for the community board. They will close February 6th of next year. So if you have an expiring term, please keep an eye out for that and be sure to apply for February 6th. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that info, Britt. So next up, we have Jay Taubman. Hello, hello.
Greetings. Good evening. Greetings from the Brooklyn Public Library. I represent the Cortelyou branch. My name is Jay Taubman. I am adult librarian at the Cortelyou branch. This is my colleague, Maura Johnson, who represents the Flatbush branch. So we'll be speaking briefly about our programs. Among the programs that I want to mention is that we are having celebrate the 10th annual World Language Festival on November 15th, which is a Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we are going to be having 3 activities: French bilingual birdies, which is basically puppets, and I'm sorry, not puppets. It's going to be jump, clap, spin, and laugh. Then the next one is puppets, Chinese shadow theater performance, and then the third one is going to be Calpulli Mexican Dance Company. So we're going to have 3 exciting activities. Also, I want to mention that we are having Brainy Babies right now on Wednesdays. So anyone who's interested in coming can come. And we're also having ESOL on Wednesdays as well from 11 to 1. Brainy Babies is from 11 to 12. And we also have toddler time from 10:30 to 12, 2 sessions, 10:30 to 11:15 and 11:15 to 12. And we have a story hour as well at 11 a.m. on Friday. So I want to invite the community to come to all of our exciting programs and events. And now, here's my colleague, Maura.
Today, my name is Mara Johnson of the Flatbush branch, and I just wanted to chime in too. We have a few more exciting programs coming up at the Flatbush branch on Linden. In particular, I left some flyers at the front, but we are hosting a series of free Caribbean history lectures with local professors. We had the first one this last Saturday. We had about 50 people come out. It was a really great event. The next one is on Tuesday, November 18th with Dr. James Cantris, and then we have Tuesday, December 2nd with Dr. Lori Lambert. We'll have free food from local Caribbean eateries, and each will be talking about their respective research. In addition to that, we have been long without a children's librarian at our branch, but I'm happy to announce that we do have a new children's librarian. So we're going to be bringing back regular story time and kids programming at Flatbush Library. So if you know any parents in the community who used to come to our branch, please encourage them to come back. And that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you, and I just wanted to end off by wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving and happy Veterans Day this coming tomorrow.
Thank you both for that. Really appreciate it. So next up, we have Lauren Collins and then Elise Lavin.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Lauren Collins from the Church Flatbush Community Alliance. We're the Business Improvement District for a section of Church Avenue and Flatbush Avenue. A few things coming up. One is Thanksgiving luncheon, annual tradition since I don't know, the 90s maybe. It will be at King's Theater in the lobby. We just found out today that Assembly Member Bichot Hermelin is actually donating all the turkeys. So thank you so much. And besides that, the kids from the Academy of Hospitality and Tourism at Erasmus are cooking for a week. Councilmember Rita Joseph's office has helped us coordinate. King's Theater has been great. It's going to be a really good event. It is on Tuesday, not Thursday. And I have posters on the table. If you have a place to put them up, please take one. I have more in my bag. We're also going to try to have extra food for people to take with them with everything that's going on with SNAP. Our board actually authorized us to purchase some food from local stores, so we'll have some kind of non-perishable things to give away, as well as a cold weather clothing swap. So if you have things, let me know. If you have things you want to donate. We also have our annual meeting coming up on the 19th at Pitch Caribbean Restaurant. Come see me if you're interested in coming. If you didn't get an invite, we're almost out of invitations, so I'm going to email people. And last thing is I put these cards on the table. We have a grant from the city to do some kind of a lighting installation outside the subway at Church Avenue and East 18th Street. So this survey is really asking fun questions like, what do you like about Flatbush? What's your favorite memory? And then we're going to create some kind of a cool installation art thing, maybe in other locations as well. And we had a few design groups meeting together. If you're interested, come see me. I'm sitting over there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. So next up, we have Elise Lavin and then Brian Brady.
Good evening. My name is Elise Lavin. I represent Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. We're located at 222 Lennox Road between Rogers and Nostrand, and our number is 718-287-1142. However, there's a lot of information on our website. I don't like to take up much time in the evening here at clark.house.gov, especially now with the shutdown, what's happening, if it's opening, her position on it. So please go on to clark.house.gov. Now, our office takes care mainly of federal issues such as immigration, visas, passports, Veterans Affairs, and postal. And like those before me, I want to thank our veterans. We owe them a great deal of debt that our country is free as it is because of the veterans. As a matter of fact, I had a hard time this morning having a friend of mine who thought he had a shotgun wedding that he was a veteran. I tried to explain to him that doesn't cut it. You don't become a veteran from that. I thought this joke would go over good. It went over? Tough crowd. Okay. I'm not going to give up my day job. Now, I left some flyers here, especially those who are going to be traveling. Hopefully things open up. It's called Take a Step, which is acronym for Smart Travel Enrollment Program. Puts you in touch with the State Department, and the State Department knows where you are. So if, God forbid, you need any help or things develop, we live now in a crazy world. They know where you are, and they can be in touch with you. Also, I mentioned it last month, and I'll mention it once again here. Our office has 2 satellite offices during the twice every first and third Wednesday at Kojo Flatbush. They're located at 1523 Avenue M. Their number is 718-377-2900. So that's every first and third Wednesday. So those who find it difficult to come down to 222 Lenox Road between Rogers and Ostrin, they can live in Flatbush, can make an appointment at Kojo. And then we have every second and fourth Wednesday at Assemblyman Eichenstein's office. He's located at 1310 48th Street. His number is 718-853-9616. I would just want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. And as I said before, great respect and our dedication and thanks to the veterans who serves past and future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ali. So next up we have Brian Grady and then Taisha Allen.
Hi, good evening. I'm Brian Grady from Councilmember Rita Joseph's office. I'm the Director of Constituent Services. On behalf of Councilmember Joseph, I want to wish everyone a happy and meaningful Veterans Day, as well as a safe and happy Thanksgiving. I'll start with some good news. The Department of Social Services, the Commissioner Maliwaso Park informed everyone today that the department did on Sunday start sending out full SNAP payments, and all existing recipients should receive those between now and Thursday, which was some really good news to a lot of folks. There are still some delays for any new enrollees, so that's to be worked out. But if you're an existing recipient and you don't get your SNAP benefits by Thursday, please do feel free to reach out to our office or whoever your local council member's office might be. So I'm going to continue on the food theme. We have a number of different food-related events coming up. The first that I'll mention is the Thanksgiving food distribution drive. This is open to all. It's a halal turkey distribution on Sunday, November 16th from 4:30 to 5:30 while supplies last. And this is also accepting donations as well, so check out the flyer if you'd like to assist with that. That's going to be held at 766 Coney Island Avenue, again on Sunday, November 16th. Our office is also sponsoring, along with ICNA Relief, a gratitude and giving distribution. That's on Tuesday, November 18th at 2 p.m. at 634 Rugby Road. Lauren already mentioned the event at the King's Theater, so please do come by there. And then we have 2 more of these, one on November 25th and then another on December 16th. The Community Food Pantry at PS 235, that's Janice Marie Knight School, at 525 Lenox Road in collaboration with Brooklyn and Merge, and that is at 5 o'clock. 2 non-food related items. So our office, as usual, is offering the New York Legal Assistance Group. They're going to have the van come up to our office on Tuesday, November 18th from 10 to 3. That's by appointment. In particular, if you have any questions around housing or public benefits, give us a call to RSVP. And then this really exciting event that we're having with the Mayor's Office of Nonprofit Services. This is a community-based organization roundtable where you'll get one-on-one sessions with the Mayor's Office of Nonprofit Services for any local community-based nonprofits. So please spread the word about that. If you have any other questions or anything our office can assist with, please contact us at 718-287-8762. We're open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 5 at 930 Flatbush Avenue. We will be closed tomorrow for the holiday. Thank you so much.
So next up we have Taisha Allen and then Iomi Sailing.
Good evening, everyone. CB14 board, chair, members, and neighbors. Also, because I didn't get a chance, congratulations on your successful annual reception. I know it was a blast. At the beginning of this month, in partnership with CUNY Citizenship Now and local elected officials, we had a successful co-sponsor event at Flatbush YMCA where many Brooklyn residents seeking citizenship receive free assistance in their application process, along with fee waivers for those who qualified. Also, in response to the recent Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, we will be joining Councilmember Farrah Lewis and other local electeds in aid of distribution relief. A flyer will be released soon with drop-off locations. Also, as many geared towards the Thanksgiving holiday, our office will be hosting a free annual turkey distribution in partnership with MSK and IGNA Relief USA this Saturday, November 15th, between 1 and 4 p.m. Registration and IDs are required just to ensure a smooth distribution. For that day, the location is 2236 Nostrand Avenue between Avenues H and I. That's directly across from the FedEx. Flyers are in the back, so please take one and share along. In closing, I just want to, mine is very short, but in closing, I just want to give honor to our veterans and remember those who have fought and served as they service lives on in their memory. Also want to put it out there that our office is located at 1312 Flatbush Avenue. We are available to assist you with your needs and any concerns that you may have, but that is by appointment only, so I encourage you to call 718-940-0428. If you don't get a pickup, definitely leave your name, brief message of your call, and we would definitely call you back with an appointment. Sorry, you're so fast, but thank you.
Taisha, thank you so much. And so next up we have Aomi Sailing, and then after Aomi we have Megan Fleming-White.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aomi Sailing. I serve as Director of Community Affairs for Assemblymember Brian Cunningham. And so in the back, I have a flyer for our flu shot event. It is on this Friday, November 14th, yes, from 2 to 5 p.m. You have to reserve a slot, so you can call our office. Now, we won't be open tomorrow. If you call Wednesday and Thursday, we will definitely get you a slot. For Hurricane Melissa, the member is opening his office as a drop-off location. Our hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and that's also now our new office hours for the month. So please donate as much as you can. More information is on our Instagram. You can follow us at nyamcunningham.com. And just want to wish a happy Thanksgiving and a happy Veterans Day. Thank you.
Next up, we have Megan Fleming-White from Councilmember Lewis's office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Megan, the constituent liaison at Councilmember Farrah Lewis's office. Just a couple announcements for today. So amid the ongoing government shutdown, thousands of New Yorkers have begun to receive access to their SNAP benefits. If you are a current SNAP benefit, you should continue to check your account and see if the funds have been deposited. And if you are not receiving SNAP and you are in need of assistance with food, you can check by your near food banks and other community events that are giving out food. I do have a flyer, I put some in the back, of the food distributions that we have in District 45. And HRA has also given us a flyer of about 1,500 different food locations. So when you scan that QR code, you'll see all the food banks in the neighborhood. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Intro 925. So this bill would require an inspection once every 2 years to make sure that steam radiators located in apartments where children that are under 6 reside and in common areas in buildings. If inspections reveal there's a defect or damage, then the building where children that are under 6 make sure reside, that they correct that defect within 14 days of the inspection. So that is the Intro 925 bill that is being currently worked on by City Council. And then lastly, our Councilmember Farrah Lewis has joined the West Woodwood Neighborhood Association and the Community Board 14 District Manager for a walkthrough with the highlights and assessing traffic safety improvements in the vicinity of Argyle Road and Coney Island Avenue. That's what I have to report to today. Thank you for having me.
So folks, that concludes the public comment period. And so do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, so then that concludes our community board meeting at 8:20 p.m. So enjoy a safe, warm travel back home, and thank you very much.